In the heart of the Roman Republic, amid the turbulent clashes with Carthage, a young man emerged whose name would echo through the corridors of history: Publius Cornelius Scipio, later known as Scipio Africanus. Born in 236 BCE into a patrician family with a proud military tradition, his early years were marked by the shadow of the Second Punic War. Hannibal, the Carthaginian general whose campaigns across Italy had brought Rome to its knees, was already a formidable adversary when Scipio first tasted the stirrings of ambition. Even as a boy, he was steeped in the legends of Roman valor and the achievements of his forebears, yet he was not content with mere inherited prestige. In the streets and forums of Rome, where political maneuvering intertwined with military command, he absorbed lessons in strategy and leadership, understanding that Rome's survival depended not only on courage, but on vision and intellect. His early military service, marked by youthful vigor, demonstrated an aptitude for boldness and improvisation. At a mere 24, he had already faced Hannibal indirectly during the campaigns in Spain, witnessing firsthand the devastating impact of a disciplined and ingenious enemy. It was here in the rugged terrain of Hispania that Scipio first displayed the qualities that would define him: audacity tempered with caution, the ability to read both the battlefield and the character of men, and a relentless drive to seize initiative. The Spanish theater of war, often overshadowed by the campaigns in Italy, proved to be a crucible, forging his tactical acumen and political dexterity. He understood that to defeat Carthage, Rome needed more than brute force. It required an approach that combined strategic foresight, alliance building, and psychological warfare. By carefully cultivating the loyalty of local tribes and forging key alliances, he demonstrated a mastery of diplomacy as a weapon alongside the sword. Yet even as he plotted military maneuvers, Scipio was acutely aware of the precariousness of his position within Roman politics. Young, ambitious, and sometimes impulsive, he navigated a Senate often divided and wary, balancing the need for bold action with the scrutiny of elder statesmen. His early victories, including the capture of strategic towns and the suppression of rebellious forces in Spain, established his reputation not merely as a soldier, but as a commander capable of transforming potential into triumph. It was during these campaigns that he began to refine the principles that would later define the Battle of Zama: flexible formations, the integration of cavalry and infantry in coordinated strikes, and the use of deception to manipulate enemy expectations. The foundations of Scipio Africanus' legendary status were laid not on the plains of Italy, but on the rugged hills and rivers of Hispania, where every success and setback honed his understanding of war as both art and science. As Rome watched anxiously, this young general prepared to take the fight to the very heart of Carthage itself, understanding that victory required more than tactical brilliance. It demanded a profound comprehension of the human dimensions of warfare: morale, loyalty, fear, and ambition. From the campaigns in Spain, Scipio's ascent accelerated, drawing him into the strategic heart of the Mediterranean struggle. By the time he returned to Rome, his reputation had grown, but so too had the expectations placed upon him. The Senate, desperate to regain the upper hand against Hannibal, entrusted him with command in Africa, a move that many contemporaries regarded as daring, if not reckless. Crossing the sea to the North African coast, Scipio confronted a theater of war unfamiliar to many Romans. The landscape was harsh, the climate oppressive, and the Carthaginian forces well entrenched. Yet he approached the challenge with characteristic resolve, meticulously studying the terrain, observing the enemy's habits, and exploiting the divisions within Carthaginian leadership. His African campaign was as much psychological as it was martial. He leveraged diplomacy to isolate enemy factions, turning potential adversaries into allies or neutral parties. The capture of key towns and the swift pacification of rebellious regions allowed him to secure supply lines and establish forward bases, laying the groundwork for the decisive confrontations to come. Throughout these operations, his personal courage inspired the soldiers under his command. Unlike generals who remained distant from the fray, Scipio often led from the front, sharing the dangers of battle and thereby cementing loyalty and trust among his troops. This proximity to danger was not mere spectacle. It was a deliberate strategy to enhance cohesion and morale, ensuring that his men were not only disciplined, but fiercely motivated. His innovations in troop deployment and reconnaissance began to attract attention beyond Rome, as allies and enemies alike recognized the emergence of a commander who combined intellect, charisma, and audacity in a manner rarely seen. The culmination of these efforts came at the decisive confrontation at Zama, where Scipio faced Hannibal once more, this time on equal terms. It was a battle that would define his legacy, a clash of titans in which strategy, timing, and adaptability determined the fate of empires. Scipio's careful planning, informed by his observations in Spain and Africa, allowed him to anticipate Hannibal's tactics, neutralize his war elephants, and exploit vulnerabilities in the Carthaginian formation. Yet it was not only strategy that ensured victory, it was his ability to inspire men to fight with discipline and courage under extreme pressure. As the dust settled on the plains of Zama, it became clear that Rome had found in Scipio Africanus a general capable of matching and even surpassing Hannibal in tactical brilliance. The victory secured Rome's dominance in the Western Mediterranean and marked the turning point in the Second Punic War, elevating Scipio to the status of a hero not only for his nation, but in the broader history of military leadership. The triumph at Zama, however, was only one facet of Scipio's genius. Beyond the battlefield, he understood the power of legacy and narrative. His actions were carefully framed to consolidate political influence while avoiding the pitfalls that often ensnared victorious generals. Unlike others who allowed personal ambition to destabilize the Republic, Scipio navigated the complex interplay between military command and senatorial politics with remarkable acumen. He cultivated alliances, honored civic traditions, and engaged in public ceremonies that reinforced his image as a patriot and protector of Rome. In doing so, he transformed military success into enduring political capital. Yet even as he managed the expectations of the Senate, he remained deeply engaged in military innovation. He continued to experiment with formations, integrating lessons from both Roman and foreign practices, studying the tactics of Carthage, and refining the mobility of his forces. His strategic mind was always in motion, contemplating scenarios beyond the immediate conflict, planning campaigns, and anticipating threats to Rome's security for decades to come. In parallel, he nurtured the next generation of commanders, mentoring officers in the principles of flexibility, intelligence gathering, and combined arms tactics. By blending pedagogy with command, Scipio ensured that his influence extended beyond his own campaigns, shaping the Roman military culture in ways that would persist for centuries. His African campaigns and subsequent diplomatic efforts also underscored his understanding of the broader geopolitical landscape. He recognized that Rome's security required a network of alliances, not merely territorial conquest. By negotiating treaties, mediating disputes, and projecting strength, he secured Rome's position in North Africa and the Western Mediterranean, creating a foundation for long-term stability that would endure well beyond his own lifetime. In this sense, Scipio Africanus exemplified the dual nature of leadership, mastery of both the art of war and the subtleties of statecraft, an integration that set him apart from both predecessors and contemporaries. Despite his accomplishments, Scipio's life was not without controversy. His extraordinary success bred envy and suspicion among certain Roman elites, leading to political rivalries that would test his resilience and character. Accusations of bribery and misconduct, though ultimately unproven, challenged his reputation and forced him to navigate the treacherous waters of Roman politics with the same strategic precision he had applied on the battlefield. These episodes reveal the delicate balance required of leaders in the Republic, the need to assert authority without provoking destabilizing resentment, to command loyalty without alienating peers, and to embody civic virtue while wielding extraordinary power. Scipio's ability to endure these challenges, maintaining both personal honor and public esteem, underscores a dimension of his greatness often overshadowed by martial exploits. Leadership, he demonstrated, is as much about moral courage and political acumen as it is about tactical brilliance. As he aged, Scipio's legacy expanded from immediate victories to the enduring influence he exerted on Roman military doctrine and political culture. His methods of integrating diverse troops, employing intelligence, and coordinating multi-pronged offensives became templates for subsequent generals, influencing campaigns well into the imperial era. Furthermore, his example highlighted the importance of character in leadership, the ability to inspire loyalty, to act decisively yet judiciously, and to balance personal ambition with the needs of the state. The story of Scipio Africanus is ultimately a story of transformation, of a young patrician thrust into an existential conflict, of a commander who reshaped Roman military strategy, and of a statesman who understood the complex interplay between war politics and legacy. From the hills of Hispania to the plains of Zama, from the Senate chambers of Rome to the coastal cities of North Africa, his life was a testament to vision, courage, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. Scipio did not merely fight battles, he redefined what it meant to be a general, leaving an indelible mark on history that would resonate for centuries. Through triumphs and tribulations, through strategic genius and political savvy, he emerged as a figure whose achievements continue to be studied, celebrated, and remembered. In every sense, Scipio Africanus embodied the ideals of leadership, the fusion of intellect and courage, and the enduring capacity to shape the course of history itself. His story reminds us that greatness is rarely a product of circumstance alone. It is forged in the crucible of challenge, shaped by vision, and realized through the courage to act decisively when history demands it.